Hare Krishna. Welcome to this episode of Bhagavad Gita. So we have changed our Bhagavad Gita class dates from Wednesdays to Tuesdays now. So instead of Wednesday evening, it will be on Tuesday evening. So today we will be discussing chapter 11, text 34 of Bhagavad Gita, which is from the chapter of describing the universal form or the Virat Rupa. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we will be discussing chapter 11, text 34 of Bhagavad Gita, executing Krishna's plan. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadhratam cha karnam tathanyanapi yodha viran maya hatam stvam jahima vyatishta yudhyasva jetasi rane sapatnan. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadhratam cha karnam tathanyanapi yodha viran maya hatam stvam jahima vyathishta yudhyasva jetasi rane sapatnan. Dronam cha, also Drona, Bhishmam cha, also Bhishma, Jayadраtham cha, also Jayadratha, Karnam, Karna, Tatha, also Anyan, others, Api, certainly, Yodha Viran, great warriors, Maya, by me, Hatan, already killed, Tvam, you, Jahi, destroy, Ma, do not, Vyatishthah, be disturbed, Yudhyasva, just fight, Jetasi, you will conquer, Rane, in the fight, Sapatnan, enemies. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Purport: Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but He is so kind and merciful to His devotees that He wants to give the credit to His devotees who carry out His plan according to His desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by His mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as His plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence. So, the verse prior to this, we have done in our previous session of Bhagavad Gita, which is a famous verse, Nimitta matram bhavasavyasachin. Tasmat tvamuttishtha yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samriddham mayaivaite nihatah purvameva nimitta matram bhavasavyasachin. Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. So we have discussed about being an instrument in Krishna's plan. Now today the topic is executing Krishna's plan. It's pretty much similar because it's a continuation of the same theme. But I just wanted to touch upon how Srila Prabhupada became an instrument in Krishna's plan, in the plan of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So that this is like a practical demonstration of this principle of how actually to become an instrument in Krishna's plan. And there's a lot of nuance, there's a lot of intricate detail that is to be learned in how we should position ourselves in our hearts, in our minds, in executing the order of the spiritual master. So here, Krishna has said, Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadhratam cha Karnam tatha anyan api Yodhaviran. All these great warriors are your enemies on the other side of the battlefield, facing you. Drona, Bhishma, Karna, Jayadratha, etc. All are Yodhaviran, great warriors, but they've already been killed by me. My plan will not go in vain. I have already decided that they will be killed in this battlefield. Whether you fight or not, Arjuna, they will be killed. But you fight and win glory. Now, here, simply fight, Krishna is saying, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Now, we all wish that Krishna lays out his plan in front of us so clearly so that we can easily take action, right? Like here, Krishna is saying, I already decided that these people are going to die. You fight and win this war. Now, if victory was assured for us, we would do something. If when we are not sure about what to do, if Krishna just tells us, you know what, just do this. This is my plan. Just do this. It would have been so clear, like how Arjuna received the instruction from Krishna, right? So at that time, it will be easy to accept the instruction of Krishna. But the thing is this: whether we know it or not, to execute the plan of Krishna is our business. So, what is the plan of Krishna in our life? Well, his real plan is given to us directly by the spiritual master. The spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, for us, is the direct and transparent representative and via medium to Krishna for us. He's a direct representative of Krishna and he's a via medium of Krishna, transparent via medium. So, whatever Prabhupada is saying is what Krishna is saying. So the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, comes through the order of the spiritual master. And therefore it is said in the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's prayers, Gurvashtakam, that we sing every morning in the Mangalarati. Yasya prasadan bhagavat prasadah yasya aprasadan nagatih kutopi. So whatever, if when the mercy with the by the mercy of the spiritual master we get the mercy of Krishna. When the spiritual master is pleased, then Krishna is pleased. So we should take the order from the spiritual master. Now, in the case of Arjuna, victory was assured for him. In the case of Jatayu in Ramayana, Jatayu died. He did not win the war with Ravana. He lost. But actually, who lost? Ravana lost, Jatayu won. Spiritually. Materially, Jatayu lost, Ravana won. But spiritually, Jatayu won, Ravana lost. And in the war as well, in the final war, many Vanaras also laid down their lives. But they're all victors because they died for Lord Ram. So this is the thing. Even if we die unsuccessful in executing the plan of the Lord, us dedicating our lives to execute the plan of the Lord is the success. The Lord's plan will anyway succeed. There is no power in this world that can go against it. But those who stop or come in the way of come in the way of the manifestation of his plan, they will be punished. And those who contribute or conduct themselves as instruments in the plan, they will be benedicted by the Lord. So this is the thing that we need to understand. So, you see, every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And especially so, in fact, even for the materialists, the plan is made by the Lord. If somebody has to die at a certain point, then he will die at that time. If he has to be murdered, he will be murdered. If he has to die naturally, he will die naturally. But those plans are not the personal plans of the Lord. Those are conducted by his external energy. But he personally takes charge of his devotees' lives. And those people, those devotees who take up his plan, or his devotees, pure devotees' plan, which is same as his plan, they are under the personal protection of the Lord. So, in Srimad Bhagavatam, यदत्र क्रियते कर्म भगवत्परितोषणं ज्ञानं यत्तद् अधीनं हि भक्तियोगसमन्वितम्. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga, or transcendental loving service to the Lord, and what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. So when we execute the mission of the Lord, then the transcendental knowledge becomes revealed to us, a concomitant factor. Because in the beginning, yes, there is some requirement of sambandha, jnana. So when we submissively hear the message of Krishna, then this will be revealed to us. Submissive hearing is very important. Then this message will be revealed to us. That is initial Shraddha, faith. With that, when we actually execute devotional service, when we render service, when we surrender our lives to the service of the Guru, the spiritual master, then what happens? That knowledge will increase. That knowledge will become more established in our hearts, and our convictions deepen. Our faith becomes unshakable. All this happens when we work for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord. And what is the mission of the Lord? Paritrānaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam. But even more importantly than that, dharma samsthapanarthaya. Because paritranaya sadhunam and vinashaya dushkritam, he kills enemies, demons, and protects the devotees. But then, how does he protect devotees even after his physical disappearance from this world? That he does by dharma samsthapana, by establishment of religious principles, so that not only devotees, even non-devotees are made into devotees. Like in the Bhagavatam, there is the description of Prahlad Maharaj, and he's a devotee, established devotee, and the Lord came to save him and kill Hiranyakashipu. But wait a second, something just snapped here. Okay, I think there was some glitch there. So, hope I am audible and visible. Please let me know in the comments if I am audible and visible. So, let's now see how to actually execute Krishna's plan, being fully, thank you, being fully conscious that it's the Lord's plan which cannot fail, yet we not being lazy and complacent, thinking that anyway it's the Lord's plan, Lord is in control. Why? What need is for and what need is there for me to do anything here for the mission of the Lord? Lord's mission is will work anyway with or without my working. Yeah, it will work. What will happen to me? That is the real thing here. There is a selfish motive. Of course, that is the beginning, but eventually it is the love for the Lord. But even if I am selfish, I don't want to take all inconvenience to fulfill the mission of the Lord. The Lord's mission will anyway be fulfilled. So why should I take any inconvenience? The Lord is in control. Krishna is in control. So sometimes people talk like this as if they're very Krishna conscious and they're very conscious of how the Lord is in control and not them. They are not the doer. I don't have ahankar. I am not the doer. The Lord does everything. They sound like very advanced in their so-called talk, but that's actually foolishness. Because when the Lord asks us, when Krishna asks us to do something, or when the spiritual master asks us to do something, it is for our benefit, and that's what we need to really understand very thoroughly. 7.9.11 of Srimad Bhagavatam. नैवात्मनः प्रभुरयं निजलाभपूर्णो मानं जनादविदुषः करुणो वृणीते यद्यज्जनो भगवते विदधीतमानं तच्चात्मने प्रतिमुखस्य यथा मुखश्रीः. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in Himself. Therefore, when something is offered to Him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee. For the Lord does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. So, this is one aspect of it. This is the real aspect of it, that the Lord's plan will work, but me offering myself is for my purification. Okay, having understood this, so how to endeavor for something, how to do something without thinking that I am the doer? How exactly to be Krishna's instrument? What should our mindset be? Okay, so here is where I would like to take you through the song or a poem written by Srila Prabhupada. which I went through before. Markine Bhagavad Dharma. And this poem, this song by the Srila Prabhupada, really encapsulates the mood of an instrument of the Lord. Okay, and we will go through that again today, because it's always auspicious to revisit the songs of the pure devotees. So, with that, okay, so Markine Bhagavat Dharma by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada at Boston Harbor, September 18th, 1965. So, this is when he arrived at America. And Markine, what is Markine? You know? In Bengali, Markin means America. Markine means in America. Bhagavat Dharma. Bhagavat Dharma in America. That was the title of the poem, the song. You know, as simple as it sounds, preaching Krishna consciousness in America. It is a revolution. What is that? Paschatya Desha Tarine and Prithvi Tyachu Jata Nagaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Hoive Mor Nam. This is the beginning of that colossal mission, Markine Bhagavat Dharma. It's a very monumental, iconic title. It's a monumental moment in history. Monumental moment in the entire Kali Yuga, probably even. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent, but his mission going to the west, way beyond the borders of Bharat, it's a monumental occasion. So Markine Bhagavad Dharma, and you know, this is not some small thing. This is a very, very big deal, right? Markine Bhagavad Dharma. And Srila Prabhupada was at the helm of affairs here. And at this time, of course, nobody knew him when he wrote this. Nobody knew him. And Prabhupada later commented that if only they knew, if the American government, if the American immigration department knew what I was coming for, they would have never let me in. Because this world of illusion will not allow an absolute destruction of its agenda. By landing in the Boston Harbor, Prabhupada declared war on Maya. Not just on Maya, he went right to the epicenter of Maya. Of course, here it's Boston, but eventually he starts the movement in New York. So in New York, that's the epicenter of Maya. It's like right into the heart, capital of Maya, he went. And he struck. You know, it's a surgical strike. Surgical strike. So, Markine Bhagavad Dharma. As big deal as this was, he look at his humility and look at the absolute, the correct mindset of being an instrument in the service of the Lord. Knowing well that Krishna is in control, and yet I have to do my service. How our mindset should be, this is wonderfully depicted in this poem, in this song. बड़ो कृपा कोइले कृष्ण अधमेर प्रति की लागिया निले था करो ए बेगति. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. Okay, just in case I can find the other version of this. One second. Just hold on. This is again that. Teaching Krishna Consciousness in America. There is this book. Yeah. No, not this. I'm just looking for something. Wait. You know the book Shower of Divine Compassion? In that, there is word to word meaning. And that is, I like that. Just want to see if. I'm losing hope. Yeah. No. So, anyway, I don't think I can find it here. What is this? Maybe here I can find it. Yes. Good. This is in the songbook. Songs of Vaishnava Acharyas. Yeah, this is here also. So, my dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. He definitely endeavored to get to this point. He tried to actually, he met with Lal Bahadur Shastri, who was the Prime Minister of India at the time. He gave him a copy of his Bhagavatam, 3-volume Bhagavatam of the first canto, and he asked Lal Bahadur Shastri to talk to the American consular department and get him a visa for Prabhupada, so that he can actually execute the order of his spiritual master by going to the West. And then it so happened that Lal Bahadur Shastri was killed in Tashkent in Kazakhstan, I think. He was assassinated. And Prabhupada was actually very worried, very anxious. He said, what will happen now? I was placing great hope in him for executing the order of my spiritual master, but now he's gone. What shall I do? He was saying like that in a letter to his god brother. And eventually, he somehow, told one of his friends, and his friend had his son in America, and then he asked his son to arrange a visa. Then visa happened. Prabhupada was quite surprised. Oh wow, you actually did this for me. Then he got the visa, and then he spoke to the Sumati Morarji Jaladuta ship, steamship company. What is that? India steamship company. And then it was a freighter ship. It was not even a passenger cruise liner. Oh, he went on a cruise liner, and he went on a personal yacht. Nothing. He was a freighter ship. Okay, and it's a cargo ship with all the containers, with all the cargo event. And when he landed there, so despite all his efforts, he said, "I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me." আছে কিছু কার্য তব এই অনুমানে নহে কেন আনিবেন এই উগ্রস্থানে, this terrible place. Ugrasthane is a terrible place I have come to. I mean, he would have been a cultural shock. 69 years old. Of course, he was educated in the British education system, but of course, the majority of people he dealt with were Indians. And he had an idea of Western culture, about British culture, but America was another level of fallen, hippies and absolute degenerates there. So then he says, but I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? See? So, the disciple, the devotee, does not mind to go to hell, does not mind going to hell to execute the order of the spiritual master, to execute the order of Krishna. So it's completely inconvenient, right? But taking inconvenience for the service of Krishna is what surrender means. Surrender is easy if everything is convenient. Where is the surrender? Our surrender means when it is inconvenient, we still stay fixed in executing the order. That is real surrender. So Prabhupada exemplified this, but I guess you have some business here, otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Rajastamo gunera sabaya channa Vasudeva katharuchi nahe se prasanna. Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudev. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. I mean, imagine complete foreign culture. So how will they be able to understand? And they're completely engrossed in passion and ignorance, not even interested in this. তবে যদি তব কৃপা হয় আহায় তুকি সকলই সম্ভব হয় তুমি সেই কৌতুকি. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. You see, he knew that Krishna's causeless mercy can make everything possible because Krishna can do anything. Look at that faith. I mean, we also say these things, oh, Krishna can do anything. But will we bet our life on it? Will we? That's how much faith we have. So, how much can we bet on Krishna's mercy? Are we willing to bet with our life, executing his order, and completely depend on Krishna? That is our faith. Krishna's mercy will make anything possible. Yeah, it's easy to say that. To have faith in that is another thing altogether. And the faith will deepen and deepen and deepen. The more we surrender, the more the faith will deepen. And the more of Krishna will also give us the assurance. And even without such assurance, I mean, assurance is already there in Krishna's words. What more assurance do we want? Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayashami ma sucha. He says, don't worry. I'll take care of you. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. So his words should be enough assurance for us to dive into the unknown. But because we do not have faith, we think twice, we hesitate. কি ভাবে বুঝালে তারা বুঝে সে রসা এটা কৃপা করো প্রভু করে নিজ বসা. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? Oh Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. See, this is being an instrument here. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? There's no hope. Given how entrenched they are in Rajo and Tamogun, there's just no hope for them. But by your mercy, anything is possible. How will they understand these things? They won't. But to execute your will, to show your mercy, you probably have brought me here. But if that is the case, I am praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. He's not saying, Krishna, I have come. Don't worry. I have come. Bhaktivedanta has come. Bhakti and Vedanta, everything will be properly administered. Don't worry. No pride. He is saying, please, praying for your mercy, sir, I will be able to convince them. He did not even say, I know the philosophy very well. Now I will preach to them. I'll convince them. No. So, however much we are qualified, without empowerment by Krishna, we cannot do anything. What is that? Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Tar Pravartan. Without the Shakti empowerment by Krishna, we cannot preach. তোমার ইচ্ছায় সব হয় মায়া বশ তোমার ইচ্ছায় নাশ মায়ার পরশ. All living entities have become under the control of the illusory energy by your will, and therefore if you like, by your will they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. You have imprisoned them. You can remove their imprisonment if you want. So probably you want, and that's why your dear servant Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has vocalized that in the form of an order. Go and preach in the Western countries. Go and preach to the English speaking world. And by the force of that order, I'm here now. Let um, let your magic happen. And if I can be your instrument, that is my blessing. So you see how he is presenting himself, positioning himself. তব ইচ্ছা হয় যদি তাদের উদ্ধার বুঝিবে নিশ্চয় তবে কথা সে তোমার I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. So again, another thing is happening here. Now he's saying, Krishna, your desire is there. If you desire, you can take them out. Take them out of this illusion. But then now he's saying, I wish. Now he's mentioning his wish. Krishna, by your wish, anything can happen. But I also have a wish. I wish that you may deliver them. And that is the real key to why, see, 10:10:25. देवर्षिर्मे में प्रियतमो यदि मौधनदात्मजो तत्तथा साधयिष्यामि यद्गीतं तन्महात्मना. So Krishna, when he delivered the Nalakuvara and Manigriva, the sons of Kuvera, who were standing cursed as two Yamalarjuna trees, twin Arjuna trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, he went there because they were cursed by Narada Muni, who was a great devotee of the Lord. But then when they became repentant, then he said, okay, Krishna will deliver you from this curse one day. So many thousands of years they were standing. And finally Krishna came. And Krishna knew that whole backstory of this. So then he said, although these two young men who are now standing as these two trees are the sons of the very rich Kuvera, completely intoxicated and, just like the hippies. And I have nothing to do with them. Although I have nothing to do with them, Devarshi Narada is my very dear and affectionate devotee. And therefore, because he wanted me to come face to face with them, I must do so for their deliverance. Because my pure devotee wished that I come before them and deliver them, therefore, I must do so. Because my pure devotee wanted. So here, Prabhupada also, he wanted. He says, I wish that you may deliver them. Finish. There's no stopping now. A pure devotee has wished. Yes, Krishna wished, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wished, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wished, and now Prabhupada also wished. All great personalities. Two of them Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wished before that. So, if you so desire, I wish that you may deliver. So many pure devotees are wishing. And there's no force in this universe that can stop them. But that does not mean that we don't become an instrument in the plan. So therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. भागवतेर कथा से तब अवतार धीर हइया सुने जदि काने बार बार. The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. Bhagavatera Katha She Tava Avatar. Bhagavater Katha She Tava Avatar. The message of the Bhagavatam is your incarnation. The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. And if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. Submissive. We can understand to an extent. Our submission also has layers, many layers. In the beginning, we may accept something. Okay, that is understood. We think we understand. But then there are deeper and deeper and deeper, more finer aspects of that acceptance, of that submissiveness. where sometimes we don't make the grade. Sometimes at some point our submission fails or our all reception fails, especially our submission. If we are submissive, we will subject ourselves to the oral reception of this message. But at some point, when we lose that submissiveness out of offenses, then our oral reception tendency, katharuchi, Vasudeva katharuchi will not happen. Or we will not gain entrance into finer aspects of the understanding of that principle. So we should always be submissive. We should never think that I have understood or yeah, I know this, but no. Do I really know? Yeah, I know. That means I do not know. I'll show you. There is this nice verse in the Kṛṣṇa Upanishad. In the 1087.30 purport, it is mentioned here. Kṛṣṇa Upanishad says, Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya navedasah avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam avijānatam. Whoever denies having an opinion of his own about the supreme truth. If somebody says, I have no opinion about the supreme truth, he is correct in his opinion. Whereas one who has his own opinion about the supreme does not know him. Because we cannot know the Supreme Lord by having our own opinions. But then, so whoever denies having any opinion about the Supreme Truth is correct in his opinion. If somebody has an opinion about the Supreme Truth, he cannot know him. So how to know him? Revealed knowledge. Whatever is given by Kṛṣṇa, we should take. Then it is not our opinion, and we're not having any opinion about the Supreme Lord. We're just receiving as it is the message given by the Lord. Only that person can know the Lord. Okay? So, yasya amatam tasya matam. Matam yasya na vedasaha. Whoever denies having an opinion of his own about the Supreme Truth is correct in his opinion, whereas one who has his own opinion about the Supreme does not know him. He is unknown to those who claim to know him and can only be known by those who do not claim to know him. So this is humility. I should never claim that I know him. Brahma is saying, and what is he saying? Jananta eva janantu. Kim bahuktya na me prabho manaso vapusho vacho vaibhavam tava gocharaha. There are people who say, I know everything about Kṛṣṇa. Let them think that way. As far as I am concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. Oh my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your opulences are concerned, they are all beyond the reach of my mind, body and words. Just by saying that much, he completely countered their opinions. So this is very important that we understand this properly, right? So now going back, repeatedly, if Bhagavatam is received repeatedly by submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. Now he's talking about Bhagavatam, highest scripture. We know that's why we should be not shy in distributing Bhagavatam. Oh no, they don't know, they are new people. If Prabhupada is saying Bhagavatam, if these American people hear, they will become your devotees. They will understand your message and become devotees. Americans. So if it is presented as it is by devotee, it is acceptable to anyone. It will be acceptable to anyone. Then he quotes these 5 verses. Let me see if this is okay. So all 5 are here. So शृण्वता स्वकथा कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तः स्थो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम् 1 to 17 Bhagavatam to all the way through 21. 5 verses 7, 18, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All these are quoted here. He actually quotes that in the song. So Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna, when one hears, then it is Punya Shravana Kirtana. It is auspicious chanting and hearing, and it is pure. And Hridyantah Sthohi Abhadrani. All the dirty things in the heart will become Vidhunoti Suhrit Satam. It will become completely cleansed, and the person becomes devotee. And Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So, when that Abhadreshu, Hridyantah Sthohi Abhadrani. Abhadrani means all the dirty things. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. That means lust, anger, greed, illusion, envy, and madness. So these 6 things, which are enemies of the conditioned soul, will become Nashta Prayash Abhadra. When they are almost completely gone, and they will be completely gone if we do Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. By constant recitation and reading of Bhagavatam, then all these dirty things in the heart will become almost completely cleansed, and our bhakti to Krishna becomes naishtiki, very fixed up. Then what happens? Tada, then Rajastamo bhavaha kama lobhadayascha ye cheta etair anavidham sthitam sattve prasidati. So, this mode of passion and ignorance, which are characterized by lust and greed, kama, lobha, adaya, etc. Cheta etair anavidham. The mind becomes cleansed of these things, of these base modes, passion and ignorance. Then sthitam sattve prasidati, and the soul is situated in pure goodness, and he is joyful, prasidati. Then evam prasanna manaso, very joyful. Now his heart is very, very joyful. Bhagavad bhakti yogatah bhagavat tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. Bhagavad bhakti yogatah evam prasanna manaso. With a happy mind and heart, he executes devotional service. And Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam, he realizes the transcendental message of Krishna, the entire truth about Krishna, and Mukta Sangasya Jayate. So he becomes liberated. Mukta Sangha also means devotees. But anyway, he becomes liberated in short. Bhidyate hridaya granthischhidyante sarva samshayah क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे. All the knots of the heart, all his attachments to this world will become bhidyate, will become cut. He becomes free from this net of illusion. Like, if a fish is caught in a net, now if you cut the net and all and free the fish, and that's it. So it's like that. Chidyante sarva samshaya, all the doubts are cleared. Chidyante nashtamoha smritir labdha tvat prasadan maya achyuta. Sthitosmi gata sandeha. Gata sandeha means no more sandeha, no more doubts. Chidyante sarva samshaya. Kriyante chasya karmani. All his karma, past fruitive reactions, all becomes terminated. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. I'll release you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. And drishta evatmanishvare. Then he will see his self as the master of his own circumstances. That is called Goswami. When he's actually a servant of Krishna, then he'll become the master of his senses. So that's the translation here. Then he continues the song. Rajastamo hote tobe paibe nistar hridayer abhadrashate ghuchibe tahar. He will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion, and thus all inauspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. Ki kore bujhabo katha baro she chahe ক্ষুদ্র আমি দীনহীন কোন shakti nahi. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. How he is becoming an instrument, see here. I cannot do anything. How will I make them? Do I have the power to undo the powerful modes? Mama Maya Duratyaya. One cannot surmount the power of Maya. How can I make them surmount the power of Maya? Like, how much strength does it require to do that? How am I going to do that? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Ekaki amar nahi paya bala, harinama sankirtane. I alone I find no strength. But I am running after the Vaishnava for his mercy. So, therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. অথচ এনেছো প্রভু কথা বলিবারে, যে তোমার ইচ্ছা প্রভু করো এইবারে. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Somehow or other. Now, O my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. অখিল জগৎ গুরু বচন সে আমার, অলঙ্কৃত করিবার ক্ষমতা তোমার. See, O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. In fact, just give me a moment. In this book, Shower of Divine Compassion, in this book is slightly differently mentioned. See, he is saying, O spiritual master of all the worlds, only you have the power to enhance my words. Alankrita means decorate. Alankarana. Alankrita, same, decoration. May my words be decorated. May my words be enhanced to have the power to deliver them. So here he's saying, O spiritual master of all the worlds, only you have the power to enhance my words and thereby make them suitable for everyone's understanding. So basically the same thing, but so you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. So he's not having any pride here. Simply depending on the Lord. তব কৃপা হলে মোর কথা শুদ্ধ হবে, শুনিয়া সবার শোক দুঃখ যে ঘুচিবে. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel engladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. So this is also mentioned in Bhagavatam. I think there is another verse as well apart from the one I'm going to show. 3.6.36. Tathapi kirtayamyanga yathamati yathashrutam kirtim hareh swam satkartum giramanyabhidhasatim. In spite of my inability, whatever I have been able to hear from the spiritual master and whatever I could assimilate, I am now describing in glorification of the Lord by pure speech, for otherwise my power of speaking would remain unchaste. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said, Adi Lila 9.5 Eshava prasade likhi chaitanya lila guna jani vana jani kore apana shodhana. It is by the mercy of all these Vaishnavas and Gurus that I attempt to write about the pastimes and qualities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whether I know it or not, it is for self-purification that I write this book. So when we speak about Krishna, when we write about Krishna, this is the mood in which we should write. Not that, oh, I know very much, I will impact the world. I'll create an impact in this world by writing something and change them. No, the impact is on me. It will have an impact on the world provided it is presented as it is. But if I present as it is, I will be benefited. And the as it is message will benefit them because it is Krishna's message. But when I think I will benefit the world, I myself cannot benefit, not the world. And there is this very important letter by Prabhupada. What is that? October 6, 1969. Is that so? Kirtana and Satsvarup. Letter to Satsvarup. How to search it? 1 second. 16/9/10/06. Is it? Is it like that? Not this now. Where is the letter? Can somebody tell me? I think it's October. I always forget this date. Kirtananda. Okay, no man. Kirtananda. Five. I don't know. This is not the one. No. How come? Kirtanananda. Kirtanananda. Um. 1967 or 1969. 1968, 1969. Let me try. Yes, my dear Satsvarup, 1967. Is this sir? Yeah. Okay, so this is the one, 67. I always think 69. October 6th, 1967. So it's quite early in the movement actually, 1967. So Kirtananda, Prabhupada is saying, Kirtananda may be eager to address in the Harvard University. But recently he has lost his link on account of disobedience. You sing every day morning that by the mercy of the spiritual master one can please the Lord, and one who has not pleased the spiritual master cannot have any access in the realm of Krishna consciousness. Very recently, Kirtananda has developed a different consciousness of Maya, which is called misuse of one's minute independence offered by Krishna. By misuse of one's independence, one at once becomes a victim of Maya, and thus he loses all importance in Krishna consciousness. So it is my definite opinion that his lecture anywhere now will bear no spiritual sequence. He must rectify his mistake before he can play in our society any important role. By lips, he says that he is a surrendered soul, but by action, he is thinking differently. So, this is very important. So, he was trying to supersede Prabhupada. And so, in this way, one loses one's potency. So, that's not how we become a preacher. So, he wanted to preach, he wanted to speak about Krishna consciousness. Yeah, he's speaking about Krishna. No. If he disobeys, then he will not have the same potency. So, coming back, only by causeless mercy will my words become pure. And then I'm sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel gladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. So now, next he says, आनी जाच्छो यदि प्रभु आमारे ना चाहते, ना चाहो प्रभु ना चाहो से मते. Why this? Oh. Kasthera puttali jatha na chaho se mate. Kashtha puttali means wooden doll, wooden puppet. Yeah, you see, Kasthera puttula, a wooden puppet. Oh Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance as you like. So I'm just your puppet. See the instrument here, the instrument in the Lord's plan, how to execute the Lord's plan. I'm just a puppet. So that means, we should actually make that mental imagery in our mind, a puppet. The hands, the legs, the mouth, the head, everything moves according to the direction of Krishna. Think about that for a moment and see how much we are not being a puppet of the Lord. How much I'm doing things, my hands, my legs, my mouth, my mind, are they moved by the Lord or are they moved by Maya? Whose puppet am I? As long as I'm a puppet in the hands of Maya, I think there is that image also in the Bhagavad Gita where the three modes of material nature are, pulling the strings, and the men on the earth, their hands and legs are moving according to that puppetry by the three modes of material nature. So that happens if we are not a puppet in the hands of Krishna. So that means all our sensory actions, our hands, our legs, our mouth, our mind, our intelligence, everything should be moved by Krishna. That is the perfection of life, to become a puppet in the hand of the Lord. Everything moved by Krishna. All in the service of the Lord. So that is real bhakti. Bhakti naye bedanaye name khub. What is this? Khub bada, not daro. What is daro? See, bada. Khub bada. Here, khub daro. What nonsense. So anyway, typo. Bhakti naye bedanaye name khub bada. Bhakti Vedanta nama ebe sarthak kara. So, khub bada, a very big name I have. I don't have bhakti, I don't have any Ved, knowledge of Vedas. See how he's saying, I have no devotion, I have no knowledge. And name khub bada. Title I have very big, Bhakti Vedanta. Bhakti Vedanta nama ebe sarthak kara. I don't have Veda, I don't have bhakti, but my name is Bhakti Vedanta. So, in other words, okay, let's read the translation first. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. Now, where is that word? Strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. That is not there here. So, okay, let me see on this one, 175. Okay, let me see how this is translated here. You see, this is actually the real translation. Although I have no devotion bhakti, nor any knowledge Vedanta, Still I have been inappropriately honored with the lofty title Bhaktivedanta. Now, if you like, O Lord, you can fulfill the real purport of that name. That is the real translation of this. The part where I have a strong faith in the holy name of Krishna is not there in the poem. So I don't know why this was written like that. But he's saying like this: I have no bhakti, I have no Vedanta, but my name is Bhaktivedanta. I am inappropriately titled. And now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. And Krishna did it. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladuta, Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, 18 September 1965. I mean, so Prabhupada is actually teaching us how to become a disciple, how to become a devotee, how to become an instrument in Krishna's plan. And we should become an instrument in Krishna's plan. Otherwise, our life has no significance. Krishna's plan will act anyway. And if everything appears to be not so favorable to execution of his plan, well, it has always been that way. For Arjuna, it was like that because against him were Drona, Karna, Jayadratha, Bhishma, invincible warriors. And if you see the Vanaras, the Ramchandra's army against Ravana, Ravana's, army was so vast and so sophisticated. There's no way that nobody can defeat him. तेनीकपारघुपतेरभिपत्य सर्वे द्वन्द्वं वरूथमिभपत्तिरथाश्वयोधैः जघ्नुर्द्रुमैर्गिरिगदेषुभिरङ्गदाद्या सीताभिमर्शहतमङ्गलरावणेशान्. Angada and the other commanders of the soldiers of Ramchandra faced the elephants, infantry, horses, and chariots of the enemy and hurled against them big trees, mountain peaks, clubs, and arrows. Thus, the soldiers of Lord Ramchandra killed Ravana's soldiers, who had lost all good fortune because Ravana had been condemned by the anger of Mother Sita. So, here Prabhupada makes a point in the purport that the Ravana soldiers were very sophisticated, very, very sophisticated weapons, and the monkeys only could throw stones, mountain peaks, and trees. It was only Ramchandra and Lakshman who shot some arrows. But because the soldiers of Ravana were condemned by the curse of Mother Sita, the monkeys were able to kill them simply by throwing stones and trees. There are two kinds of strength, Daiva and Purushakara. Daiva refers to the strength achieved from the transcendence, and Purushakara refers to the strength organized by one's own intelligence and power. Transcendental power is always superior to the power of the materialist. Depending on the mercy of the Supreme Lord, one must fight one's enemies even though one may not be equipped with modern weapons. So, every time the fight against Maya always looks insurmountable. In fact, if it looks insurmountable, then we are in the right fight. If it looks too easy, I don't know, we are not in the right fight. We're not really fighting anything there. It should look insurmountable, and Maya is insurmountable, but only when we take Krishna's shelter. Maya durate mamevaya prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So when Prabhupada went to America, same thing, insurmountable it looked like, but Prabhupada surmounted it by all the obstacles. What is that verse? The other day Venugopal Prabhu was showing somewhere in the 11th canto, I guess, something. So many obstacles are put before the devotees, but they would step on the head of that obstacle and win the fight. So, going back, yeah. So if it is looking very insurmountable, we are in the right fight. We are just in the right position now. We just have to depend on Krishna and march forward. March forward. So as Kali Yuga progresses, it will become even more and more difficult. But by Krishna's mercy, we can be successful anytime. We just have to depend on Krishna's mercy and execute the order of the spiritual master in this mood that Srila Prabhupada has shown us. So, okay, I just wanted to show that as an example for today's verse on executing Krishna's plan, becoming an instrument in his plan. And what does it mean? How we should approach that. And I wrote this in my Vyasa Puja offering of this year that, let me see, I have to open another thing. Yeah, 11.4.10. Yeah, let me show that. 11.4.10. I see in the comments. 11.4.10. त्वां सेवतां सुरकृता बहवोऽन्तरायाः स्वौको विलङ्घ्य परमं व्रजतां पदं ते नान्यस्य बर्हिषि बलिं ददतः स्वभागान् धत्ते पदं त्वमविता यदि विघ्नमूर्ध्नि. Vignamurdhni, the head of obstacles. The demigods place many obstacles on the path of those who worship you to transcend the temporary abodes of the demigods and reach your supreme abode. Those who offer the demigods their assigned shares in sacrificial performances encounter no such obstacles. But because you are the direct protector of your devotee, he is able to step over the head of whatever obstacle the demigods place before him. So, this is the point. That a devotee can step over whatever obstacle there is there, but only by the shelter of Krishna, because Krishna is the direct protector of such devotee. So we should take up this fight, and this fight is a very, very blissful fight because there are no weapons here. Our weapons are books, holy name, prasadam. These are our weapons. Our soldiers are devotees, and they will conquer the world by love. It's a very blissful war. The only war we would want to take part in, the war against Maya. So, what was I saying? I was saying something. So anyway, just prior to this. So in this way, we have to take up this mission of preaching Krishna consciousness, and every time there will be obstacles, any place, any time, whatever situation. And it's a good thing if we have obstacles, and we'll become more Krishna conscious. Prahlad Maharaj had obstacles. Dhruv Maharaj had his own obstacles. So everybody will have obstacles. Gopis had their obstacles. You know, Gopis had their obstacles. They had to run away from family members, everything. So everybody will have obstacles. Yeah, Vyasa Puja offering. So yes, in the Vyasa Puja offering, said, let me see if I can open it somewhere. Okay. Just give me a second here. Okay, so here we are, Vyasa Puja offering. I don't know if you can read this. Okay, so I actually wanted to make a lecture on this Vyasa Puja offering. that is still pending. Yeah, this one, the 13th stanza. The ingredients of the Guru's order are a prophecy and a merciful offer. It will come to pass no matter what. Blessed are those who give it all they've got. So, the Guru's order is actually a prophecy. When Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, preach in the English speaking world, that means the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be spoken in the English speaking world. It's a prophecy. But then when he says, preach in the English speaking world, it is an offer for us. The ingredients of the Guru's order are a prophecy and a merciful offer, an offer for us to participate. So, because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prithivete Achujata Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachar Hoi Bimor Nam, my holy name will be spread all over the world. That was a prophecy, but there was no order. But of course, there was order. I mean, Bharata Bhumita Manusya Janma Hoile Jar, Janma Sarthak Kore Karo Paropakar. So, when there are these orders, especially by Kṛṣṇa or the bona fide acharyas and the people and the devotees who are following in their footsteps, such order, the ingredients of that order it's two parts. One is the prophecy, that means it will happen, and it is an offer for me to participate in it. It will come to pass no matter what, because it's a prophecy, and it will come to pass because Krishna will fulfill that word. Blessed are those who give it all they have got. So this is the exact thing about becoming an instrument in Krishna's plan. So becoming an instrument in Krishna's plan is just this: take up the order and participate in it for our own purification. We are not preaching to purify the world. We are not. Let's be very clear about that. When the pure devotee does it, he comes to purify the world. When we do it, we are purifying ourselves. But because it's the pure devotee's message, it will purify the world. But we are doing it for our own purification. We are not so capable as to purify the world. At least I am not. So that's why we heavily stress on distributing books and guiding people according to those books. That's why we always, in our ISKM, we always have the screen to show that this is the real thing. The real speaker here is Prabhupada, and we are just showing. We are just being a mouthpiece of that real thing. So, the real message is Prabhupada's message, and we have to broadcast it purely without any adulteration and distribute his books. Let his books do the speaking. Distribution of books is very important. So we have to just tax our brains. So that's why next verse is, let us be immersed in taxing our brains. Let's forget all our pleasures and pains. Let's usher in an era of heavy book rains until only Krishna consciousness reigns. So until the world becomes Krishna conscious, we have no rest. We have no respite. We have to conquer the world out of love, inundated with love of Godhead, or we die fighting. That's the only two options we should have. Either we conquer the world and see the other end of this fight, or we die fighting the war. But not that we sit on the sidelines and watch the world go to hell. No. So, all right, I will stop it here. Any questions or comments on this topic? Okay, any questions? Let me see. So it's a question here. If we are in pure goodness, only the submissive hearing will happen. Otherwise, the hearing will not have no effect. If you are in passion and ignorance, the submissive hearing will not happen. Well, if we are in goodness, we are more submissive. But if we choose to be submissive, even if we are in passion and ignorance, because ultimately it is by that's why if you see those verses 1 to 17 through 21. Srinata Sokata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hirdyantasto Hya Bhadrani Vidhunoti. Then Tada Rajastamo then the mode of passion and ignorance will become cleansed, and then only Sattvagun remains. So even in the mode of passion and ignorance, we can do submissive hearing. And if we choose to, we can. So if we choose to do submissive hearing, then we will get cleansed of this passion and ignorance and come to Sattvagun. So we just have to submissively hear. Submissively hear means not foolishly hear. Does not mean that we do not question. We should question, but submissively question to clear our understanding, not to challenge what is being presented. So submissive hearing means being actually interested in the subject and being very curious, wanting to clearly understand what is being said. That is submissive hearing. But if I make a show of submissive, yes, 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 but at the end, are you clear? That's not submissive hearing. Yes, 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 yes is not submissive hearing. Submissive hearing means, am I paying full attention? If I'm paying full attention, is everything clear? If something is not clear, questioning, asking question to in order for my clarification is actually submissive hearing, because the subject matter is being explained to me for my understanding. And if I am not interested in my own understanding, I'm not being submissive to the message. I'm not wanting to actually accept the message. I'm making a show of acceptance by nodding. But I should question so that it will become clarified for me. So I'm actually respecting the message if I want to fully internalize, fully absorb the message. I want to fully absorb the message. So that is actually submissiveness. So that's why there is Kṛṣṇa. Vasudeva Katha Prashna. It's a very important verse. Vasudeva Katha Prashna. Purusham Strin Punatihi. Vaktaram Prachakam. Shrotrims Tatpada Salilam Yatham. Vaktaram Prachakam and Shrotrin. The Ganga or the Ganges, emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu, purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. So, upper, middle, lower. So, similarly, when one asks questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva, Kṛṣṇa, three varieties of men are purified: the speaker or preacher, he who inquires, and the people in general who listen. The speaker, the inquirer, the listeners. Just like the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. The Ganga purifies the whole universe. Similarly, the topics of Kṛṣṇa also flow like that, like a river, like a waterfall. And this is also mentioned in this 4:22:19. Sangamah khalu sadhunam ubhayesham cha sammatah yat sambhashana samprashnah sarvesham vitanotisham. When there is a congregation of devotees, their discussions, questions, and answers become conclusive to both the speaker and the audience. Thus, such a meeting is beneficial for everyone's real happiness. So these are questions are important. And also questioning for clarification, not for just for the sake of asking questions. I think in your homage of 2023, care means giving instructions. I don't know exact sentence. What will be reference from scripture? Well, so I mean, I don't know what that line is, but care means giving instructions. Yes, instructions are actually the care. So if you go to 3:9:25, सोऽसावदभ्रकरुणो भगवान् विवृद्ध प्रेमस्मितेन नयनाम्बुरुहं विजृम्भन् उत्थाय विश्वविजयाय च नो विषादम् माध्व्या गिरापनयतात् पुरुषः पुराणः. The Lord, who is supreme and is oldest of all, is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that he may smilingly bestow his benediction upon me by opening his lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and kindly remove our dejection by sweetly speaking his directions. Madhya gira apanayatat. Gira means by words. Madhya gira, by sweet words. His instructions will remove vishadam, dejection. Okay. So I think that's the end. Thank you very much for your time. We'll stop it here. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.